Hello and welcome to AUC TV. I'm Maryam Mazhar. In Kenya, police officials used tear gas and small arms fire during several hours of clashes with stone-throwing protesters on Wednesday. The protesters hit the streets of Kisumu when the country's presidential election rerun was set to go ahead despite their calls for it to be further postponed due to the credibility of the government and its presidential candidates. The announcement that the election rerun will go ahead came amid rising tensions between the Kenyan government and opposite supporters that were taking place since early 2017.
We are warning the IEBC, don't bring the ballot boxes here. If you can't conduct the election in a free and credible manner, there will be no election in Kisumu. Wananchi power! Wananchi TV! Power!
Hundreds of demonstrations hurled rocks at police station in Kisumu. In the process, police responded quickly by firing sources of tear gas rounds and chasing demonstrators into side streets away from the main avenue. Kenya's opposition leader Raila Odinga is boycotting the elections. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission chairman said that they cannot satisfy everyone by guaranteeing elections that are credible and fair. In a court hearing last Thursday, footage of Malaysian airport security cameras that caught the movements of 4 North Korean suspects who allegedly helped 2 women kill the North Korean president's estranged half-brother were shown. The 2 women are facing possible death sentences.
Yesterday and this morning, he emphasized on the role of the North Koreans. So far, he has touched on 3 of them. We'll hear more of him on the 6th of November.
Police forces said in court that they believe that one of the suspects, known as Hanamori, was supposedly the mastermind behind the murder of Kim Jong-nam. A police officer said that the footage revealed the suspect's movement before and after the attack that took place on February the 13th. Only 2 of the suspects are currently in custody, including a Vietnamese suspect and an Indonesian defendant. Both suspects pleaded not guilty to murder charges when their trial began on the 2nd of October. Moving on to Thailand, a royal ceremony took place to begin moving the remains of Thailand's king in his golden crematorium in Bangkok, representing Mount Meru, a mystical place where Buddhist and Hindu gods are believed to dwell. Thousands of mourners around the Thai capital paid their respects by offering sandalwood flowers because it's believed that their scents help guide souls to their heaven. Many stores in the city were closed to mourn the king's passing, while some shops opened while watching the ceremony on television.
ที่จะสูญเสียท่านไปแล้วก็จะไม่มันเป็นวันที่สำคัญที่สุดนะคะที่ประชาชนทุกคนแล้วก็ลูกของพ่อทุกคนอะไรรักพ่อมากไม่อยากให้พ่อจากไปและไม่อยากสูญเสียจนวันนี้แต่จำเป็นต้องยอมรับสภาพ
Last Wednesday, former Guatemalan football official Hector Trujillo became the first person sentenced in the U.S. in 2015 FIFA corruption scandal in federal court in Brooklyn. Judge Pamela Chen sentenced Trujillo to serve 8 months in prison and to pay $415,000 when he pleaded guilty to wire fraud and conspiracy in June.
¿Cómo va a ser para pagar esos $415,000?
No sé, esto no quedó definido. No están decididos todavía si se va a pagar o no se va a pagar. Es algo que todavía lo van a discutir durante el plazo de 90 días.
¿Se dice que está arrepentido de haber cometido las conductas por las que fue acusado?
Por supuesto, lo dije delante de la juez. Todo lo que dije, lo dije delante de la juez.
¿Cree que es un ejemplo para lo que viene ahora en este caso de la FIFA?
No sé.
Judge Chen said that the $175,000 that Trujillo receives in bribes should have been used to build soccer fields in poor neighborhoods or buy uniforms for young players. Ashamed, Trujillo apologized and said that his conscience after taking the bribes, made him suffer enough. The prosecutors asked that the defendant serve more than 3 years in prison, while his defense lawyers asked for no prison time for the crimes committed between 2009 and 2016.
I think we're all disappointed because we hoped that he would get no jail time and that she would send him back to Guatemala now as opposed to in 8 months. However, again, the sentence was far below what the government had requested and what was possible under the guidelines.
The annual event celebrating United Nations Day and also its 72nd anniversary was held last Tuesday in Beijing. The purpose of the event is usually to shed light on the past year's accomplishments and focus on a topic of global interest, which was the institution's Sustainable Development Goals, referred to as SDG. The SDG were only adopted 2 years ago, starting with 169 targets. Their main purpose is to put an end to poverty, hunger, and fight discrimination.
Today we talked about SDG action and how we need to move ahead in terms of implementing all the aspirations in the SDGs. And that means leaving no one behind, making sure everyone benefits from development, and making sure that development is sustainable and it doesn't harm the planet.
There are various particular and sustainable steps being taken to ensure these goals. A UN-China joint action plan in northwest Shanghai province had been launched during the event.
Integrated the SDGs into the National Development Plan, and it's investing heavily both in China but also helping other countries through South-South.
Officials said collaboration between the UN and China would be strengthened through projects like the one in Shanghai. They also said that the similar projects would be introduced in the future. Snow leopards have been repeatedly caught on infrared cameras since May at the Yanqiwan National Nature Reserve in northwest China's Gansu province, said the Nature Reserve on Wednesday. These first-class protected animals have so far been caught on cameras for 341 times by 53 infrared cameras. The administration has installed 86 infrared cameras in the nature reserve, and the fact that 53 of them caught the footages shows that the wild animals are fairly protected in the nature reserve.
这次我们收集了84份粪便，血包粪便，这些都是血包粪便，风干的，黄哈的标本。
Since 2013, the administration has worked together with the Beijing Forestry University on a joint survey team of snow leopard 90 sampling areas with a total of 2,025 square kilometers have been arranged for the survey. Snow leopards have been listed on the International Union for Conservation of Nature. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.